f32 kind of want boyfriend m35 to be my dad. Me and my boyfriend have been together for only 6 months, but have been friends for about a year longer than. We only ever hung out with a friend group and did none together and stuff. And I fell in love with him without really hanging out at his house or interacting with his kids. I knew his kids from 7, 12, and he'd talk about them. But I didn't meet them until I was already in love with him. Some background. I came from an abusive household. Both of my parents were emotionally / psychologically abusive, and my father was an angry drunk who threw things and punched walls. I've been in therapy for it throughout my life. When I can afford a therapist, a user, but I'm currently not. I've never really hung out around a healthy family with kids in it. Estranged from my extended family since cutting off my parents. And most of my friends either don't have kids or they're very small babies. The first time I went over to my boyfriend's house, his kid was acting up, and I felt my whole body go tight, waiting for him to get angry / aggressive with the child. And he didn't. He was kind and gentle. I was absolutely just. I'd never seen that. The more we spend time together, and the more I see him around his 2 kids. I keep having these sort of earth-shaking revelations like, this is what parents are supposed to do. This is what it's supposed to look like. My therapists had explained verbally what it's supposed to be like. But that's very different from actually seeing a parent who genuinely loves his kids and treats them well. I love spending time over there because when he's kind and gentle to his kids, I love. Passively absorb it is the only way I can think to explain. I feel safe and warm and protected in an extremely just, primal way that I never felt in my own house or anything. To be clear, I know what daddy kink / do. And this isn't it. Not sexual at all. I just see the way he takes care of his kids and wish that I could just duck under that umbrella and be cared for like that too. One time he was telling me about the custody battle he went through with his ex-wife, who didn't want him around the kids, and how hard he fought to stay in their life, and I just started crying. He was comforting, and I tried to explain that no adult in my life would have ever fought for me like that. I told him I wish I'd had a dad like you, and he said I wish you did too, which was very sweet, but I just worry this isn't something I'm supposed to want from my boyfriend or feel for him. He knows about my parents, and we've talked about it a few times. He gets it because he didn't have a great upbringing either. It's probably not okay to cross wires. Like, I believe in communication in relationships, so I probably need to talk to him about it. There's just so much positivity and warmth and unconditional love in his house, and I want to just wrap up in it like a warm blanket, but it's not mine. It's his kids, and I probably shouldn't get the wires crossed like that. I don't know. If I hadn't had to change jobs during COVID, I'd talk to a therapist again. But financially, that's just not an option right now. Too long, don't raised in an abusive household. Now see how my amazing boyfriend loves his kids, and I wish he'd take care of me / love me the same way, since nobody ever did. Is that wrong? Do I talk to him about it? I don't think you want him to be your dad. You just want to be treated with the empathy and respect he treats his children. So tell him how you feel. Just don't say I want you to be my dad. That'll probably spooky him, but beyond that, tell him you've never seen a parent treat their kids right like that, and it makes it feel amazing to be around him, and how much you want more of that. I'm sure he'll feel flattered for basically being called an awesome dad, and then he'll feel able to become more emotionally close to you. 40-year-old lady here. Lots of people who are shitty parents look at their partners and friends and think I wish my parents were like that. Heck, people with good parents might still look at a great parent and think, dang, they pulled that off better than my dad. It's not that you want your partner or friend to parent you, it's seeing someone do good and wishing that you had it back then with your parents. What you need to do is focus on what a good partner is to you, and you need to start giving yourself the love you needed as a child. I think actually you're kind of fine. I mean, not fine because you are still healing from childhood trauma, but kind of fine for your path of healing. What I was worried about is there's a common response some people have who were mistreated, where they see others being treated properly, and it's painful. You don't have that. You're responding positively to watching healthy relationships, which is great, and there's nothing wrong with that, as far as I know. As for wanting it for yourself, well, part of healing from childhood abuse is mourning the loss of what you should have had but did not. You've already done a lot of that, but as with any mourning, sometimes something happens and it hits you strongly again. In this case, you now have a better idea of what you missed out on. So you need to let yourself take time to grieve. But I also think you need to keep in mind that while you're too old now to have a relationship with someone in the parental role who cares for you as a child, a loving partner is somebody you should feel safe and cared for with, and you actually can have some of that safety and concern within a healthy, romantic relationship. I think the parts you really want are the parts you should be aiming to get, which is why I think this isn't as much of a problem as it seems to be to you. You're just not used to having it within any relationship, and now are witnessing it within the context of a parent-child relationship. But you aren't mentioning craving any of the parent-child specific parts of it.